Thank you for all that we have on a daily basis. As always, we pray for the reasons that we assemble and that we have the freedom to do so. We pray for our board, for our employees, and for the public we serve. We pray that you'll continue to watch over and care for us as we leave here, that we can all be safe, go home to our families. We ask forgiveness of our sins and our shortcomings. In Christ's name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Harville.
Here.
Commissioner Pitts.
Here.
Chairman Miller.
Here.
Commissioner Toller.
Here.
Commissioner Gould.
Having a quorum, I'll call the meeting to order. First item, approval of the minutes of the meeting held on March 25th. Everyone had a chance to look at those. Any deletions or additions?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Commissioner Harville.
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts.
Yes.
Chairman Miller.
Yes.
Commissioner Toller.
Yes.
Commissioner Gould.
Public comments. Don't have any public. Committee reports.
Southern Pine meeting coming up next week, so we'll have something week after. Hopefully, the director will be here to talk to us.
I'll leave that to Angie.
As far as animal control goes, we're pretty cool out here and we're moving ahead. Putting it in the field.
Anybody else? Building permits, don't see Jeff, so I assume we have none. Old business, resolution to approve compensation for certain elected officials. We'll continue to table that at the time being. Possibly next meeting. New business, approve payment of bills. Everybody had a chance to look over the bill list.
Commissioner Harville.
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts.
Yes.
Chairman Miller.
Yes.
Commissioner Toller.
Yes.
Commissioner Gould.
All right, item B, presentation on upgrade building automation system from Train. You want to say anything, Adam, or introduce
No, I
everybody?
think he's had it under control, I believe.
Floor's all yours.
Okay. Just nice to meet everybody. My name's Armin. I'm actually out of the St. Louis office. I help support Kathy here. I didn't prepare any sort of presentation for you guys, but it's really just a feedback discussion. So what was presented to Adam was basically a upgrade to their control system here. What you guys currently have is an obsolete system from Train. We call it kind of legacy system. Really outdated, not supported anymore. We still have techs that can work on it. But in terms of getting a new system, if that system were to fail, we don't manufacture any more parts. So move your facilities in terms of kind of hindrances there, getting alarms via text or email if something goes on. You don't want to get a bunch of people in here and it turns out that the HVAC system is down. So that's really the big kind of aspect there. In terms of what the work looks like, all the work is done in the mechanical room, so there's not going to be people above ceilings. A lot of the end devices, the sensors, the controllers on each individual kind of ceiling space stay the same. It's really made for a drop-in replacement in terms of just the main front end panel. So a lot of benefits you get with that. It's about a 20 to 25 year life on that, so you should be good moving forward here. So, any questions? Anything you have, Adam?
Understanding that this system was outdated when it was put in, is that correct?
I don't know, it's been in 10 years ago is what but I don't think it's that.
I wasn't outdated, no. So everything was software based then, and that's kind of what you guys have is a software on a computer. Where now everything is web based. So.
And this is just for the software for our system, so it's not for our actual units or anything like that, correct?
Yeah, so the units themselves stay the same. It's really just one front end controller. And with that, you basically have a brand new system. It's made for, like I said, a drop-in replacement. So the good thing with Trane is what they do is they make everything backwards compatible. So for example, if, let's say in 5-10 years, you're gonna change out a rooftop, you're gonna actually have to put an old controller into that rooftop if you wanna tie it into the system that you have today. I would not advise anyone to invest, $100,000 into a new rooftop and put an old control on it. I would say a new control on it and tie it into a new system. And that way, again, set safety rules. So,
And I think you guys are getting a new computer system, is that correct?
Yeah, they're doing it.
Okay, so we're also concerned about, your system you have now, the Tracer Summit, talking to a new computer.
yeah, depending on the type of software and servers that you guys will use, that system might actually not be compatible with that. So you may have to keep a dedicated computer just to run that system. If that makes sense. So you're also at the mercy of that computer as well, not just the physical control of the box.
So
Because
is,
this new system, it's not tied to a computer.
Correct.
I can
You
be
can access,
on the roof and look at it on my phone
correct. And the
to
good,
see what the computer is saying is wrong with the unit.
correct,
That
exactly.
goes and repair without running back. Because right now I have to go to the roof. The system gives me some warnings and whatnot, but then I have to go to the roof, check out what I can, go back downstairs to the computer, look and see what it's saying at that point. Or somebody just has to be sitting at the computer the whole time I'm on the roof. Or when the train techs are here, I have to sit at the computer while they're up there doing whatever and talking back and forth about what's it saying now, what's it doing now, all that, as opposed to this new system. I can be at home and if dispatch calls me at 1 o'clock in the morning saying they're hot or cold, I can look on my phone right there without having to come in and find out if it's just because I need to turn the temperature down a couple of degrees or if something's actually wrong. So we would save service calls with them as well as with me also.
That's what I was gonna get to next, was really the remote access piece is the biggest piece, because not only will you guys have remote access to the system, we'll also have remote access to the system, so now we'll be able to get in and help you guys troubleshoot. Since 2022 started, we've basically been able to save about 40% of service calls just from a simple, call us, we'll look at the system for you, we'll guide you through something, and we don't have to roll a tech. And so, it's hard to put a number on that because, it may be once a week that happens, and maybe once a month, and maybe once a year. So it's hard to quantify that, but when you look at it in totality, 40% savings on just truck rolls, it does a lot for you guys in terms of money, it does a lot for the environment. So I think that's really help you guys out.
right now, when we have a repair, when the rep comes to fix it, where does he come from?
Okay. I'm out of the Cape Girardeau office, our needs out of St. Louis, but we have our technicians that come out.
So even, yeah, with what he's saying, being able to service them, then you also don't have to pay for his travel time here and back and all of that, which right now we do.
And there's been times too that they can, right now what we have to do is come here and look at it, if there's a part that needs to be ordered, then we have to come order the part and come back with the part, whereas it could happen that he could diagnose it over the phone and now you have one trip with the part on his truck, versus two.
Sounds like a good investment to me.
So you guys have in your packet the brochure that Adam was given from Trane that explains the new system and everything. And then the second thing you have behind it is the quote for upgrading the automated system.
Which I did update the quote, I noticed that I had an expiration date, so the only change I made was the date.
Okay.
So,
It's still the same price.
everything's the same, I just updated the date.
Are we currently on a maintenance agreement or just time and material?
Any service call is time and material or quoted, I usually give it a price, but no maintenance.
Now, my understanding is with this new system, we do get a certain period of time that you cover, I guess this new system or whatever.
Yes, the new system will be under warranty for a year. So, yeah, if for whatever reason it fails or something happens, there's an issue, something, with programming, that would be fine.
How secure is the system?
It's very secure. It only uses outbound traffic, so there's nothing incoming. So it uses, 2 ports, 4443 and 1194. I can get you guys the white paper on that if you need it from an IT perspective. But we've had, government facilities, banks, all utilize this technology with not any concerns.
So is this something we would need to get our IT company involved with you guys to be able to set it up?
The only thing we need is a static IP address. So whether that's, you guys use that internal here or through a third party, we would just need a static IP.
Because you would have to have access to be able to remotely open it to that.
Right.
Which he can set that up where that's the only thing, they can get it.
And you can, you can lock down users, there's like a view only, so maybe you want to give one person full access to the system, but person B, you only want to give them view only or, a limited access where they can't change set points or can't override things. You can do that. The system is very customizable from that aspect. And all the training associated with that is included at the completion of the project.
How long will it take to do the?
I would say about a week.
So when you say training, that includes them teaching me how to use it?
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, at the end of the,
Yeah.
at the end of the project, Darnell will sit down with you, okay, this is where you access this part, this is where you access this part.
Right.
This is how you view the reports, schedules, The big thing too is, if you guys are not here, there's certain days that this building's gonna be occupied, we can go in on the front end and just say, okay, Thanksgiving falls on right before Thursday of every November, we can just go in there and change that for effort. And so you never have to make that change again. So it's just gonna unoccupy the building, right? Why waste energy, for a couple of days when no one's gonna be in the building? So it has a huge play for that.
We don't have that ability now, correct?
You do have
But you
to,
do it manually.
yeah, you have to go in
Yeah.
manually every single time.
Do we do that?
Yeah, it's set on a semi-type schedule right now where at night, the top 2 floors go in unoccupied mode. But as far as doing it, I have to manually do that for special days or anytime, we're closed during the whole day, I have to change it. All I can do right now is set a time like 9 PM to 5 AM in the morning.
Right.
And it does it every day or one, I just click how many days I want to do it. So there's no specific, like, I can't tell it. Thanksgiving Day of this year, I want it to go in unoccupied mode. It won't do it. It'll only do it for those hours I set for every day.
Yeah, you would have to go in the day before, change it the following day, unoccupied, and then remember to change it back. But with this system, you just go in there once and set it, and it stays like that.
So I would assume for holidays that are not the same every year, the system we can't tell it Good Friday and know when Good Friday is.
Well, you can and can't. So there's different ways to do it, right? So like I mentioned, like the 4th, 3rd, because, Thanksgiving doesn't fall on the same day, right? But like New Year's Day always falls on January 1st, right? So there's different kind of parameters you can set up. There's like 6 different options. So you can go in and say January 1st, it will occupy it.
Okay.
And if there is something, you you can do it from
Yeah,
phone
and you- yeah.
and not have to go in here.
Right.
Because I can set it where it would alert me or remind me to switch back, right?
Anybody have more questions? Sounds good to me. I feel like it's something that we desperately need to do, especially since the system is outdated now. And, the way I'm understanding it, I think it will possibly save us some energy costs down the road, so.
So this is something that, you probably want to vote on that you're, good with it, or just tell me that you're good with it. You don't necessarily have to do a regular vote because it's already budgeted, because it would be paid out of our courthouse repair and maintenance account. So we didn't know about this specific expense, but we put money every year into our courthouse repair and maintenance account for stuff like this that comes
So the
up.
money's already available.
The money's already available.
That'd be my concern.
Yes.
Well, I think we're with it, we don't need to.
Okay.
To vote on it. If everybody's in agreement.
All right.
Good. Appreciate it.
If you have any other questions, just give us a call.
Sure.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome,
Thank you.
thank you. All right. Item C, University of Illinois Extension Budget Agreement, Jody?
Well, hopefully I caught you in a good mood. I had money to do an upgrade, so. Hey, that was about, what did you say, $100,000? So I may be coming in here asking too little.
19. Yeah.
Should I put that in there?
Well, first of all, let me say, I am glad to be here without a mask on. So we're getting past COVID, aren't we?
Yeah.
But nevertheless, I give to you today our annual report with the 2021 University of Illinois Extension. We had another successful year with the programming across the 5 counties. We've got here in Union County, we actually, Brenda Heilman retired in June of last year. So we gave her a big celebration, congratulated her. And we have already replaced that position, so there was no, there wasn't even a hint of us reducing any type of positions or for cost cutting measures. Extension, we really are pretty healthy. Got full staff, we've got 15, 16 on staff right now. In last August, September, I wrote for a special project to address our food access. Whether you realize it or not, our southern 5 counties, we're basically a food desert. We don't have enough food for the number of people that we have here. So we're trying to help them get a grocery store. But through this special funding, about $250,000 is what we requested and have access to. I was able to hire 2 more positions. So we have another educator, which is about a $60,000 job, and a research assistant that we have on board. So that initiative is actually covering 11 counties, our 5, and then our 6 neighboring over near Harrisburg. Gallatin County, it's really surprising. You wouldn't think Gallatin County and Alexander County have similar, or not demographics, but similar population patterns, but they do. The out-migration from both counties are very similar back to 1900, and neither one of them, like I said, have a grocery store. So that's the efforts that we've got going on there. Besides that, we continue our donation gardens that we've got one down in Cairo, we've got one over in Metropolis. staff and volunteers that are doing that. You guys have got a really successful one here in Union County. The Sadowskis, we stay out of their way, but we're there to support them as well. We've actually supported them with our nutrition education program. So when they've done events, my nutrition staff will go out and we work with Shawnee Development Council, that food pantry there. So, still have the homemakers coming in every month, making a new quilt in the office. So although I would say, I'm always looking for more office space. I thought I found an office there at Trina's Craft, in that, complex, and, somebody bought the building. It was like within 2 days that it went for sale. So, no, just to say we're doing well, fully staffed. We made the adaptations with COVID. Parents, it was frustrating for them, but the kids were adaptable. Our 4-H shows continued. The way we done this year was we did the shows in each of the offices across the unit. We actually scheduled the kids to come, and they would come at a specific time, do their judging with their projects, and so then that way we kept the number of people in the office low and socially distanced, if you will. The awards program, we do what was called a drive-by awards program, so the kids would come just drive through the parking lot. We would hand them the awards and give them the recognition. We'd get pictures with them and stuff like that. But the whole purpose was to try to keep social distancing down. So last night was our first. We did international night at Shawnee Community College last night. I think we had about 13 clubs that participated. But there, what we did, we had 6 different classrooms. And we put each of the clubs in each classroom and had them go through their activities to keep the number of people down. So my point being, as frustrating as COVID is, we're still taking the necessary steps and precautions to limit any type of mass cross-contamination. So you look through, like I said, I'm really proud of the report. Probably some of the really interesting stuff that we've been doing is with Kim Rowling has been leading something called Trash Blast. We've been working with our Master Naturalist, Master Gardener volunteers, going out to the Shawnee National Forest and some of the state parks and doing actual trash removal. And this is page 13. It's the number of volunteers that we had involved and the hours that we had involved. And then we've got a dollar amount of about $33,000 that we're equating for their time. But just here the last week, they removed 51 tires from one of the natural areas. It was over 2,000 pounds of trash. So, I mean, it rips your heart to think somebody's dumping like that. But my point being, because of the contributions that you and the other counties are making, we're able to get volunteers out and clean up our natural areas. And I mean, Union County is a tourism hotbed, and you know the importance of having those areas looking good for our visitors to come to the area. So, does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm glad to see you with no mask.
No mask.
I was very interested in your comments about the food desert.
Yeah.
That we have, in the southern 3, 4, 5 counties. And I want to commend you guys for having the community gardens and working with them. I think that's an excellent idea. But have they ever thought about taking it to the next level and actually have some kind of a program or outreach for people to raise their own gardens, to raise their own food?
Yeah.
Because the potential there would be so much more.
Absolutely. You're right in line with my heart. We can take them in fish, teaching the fish, right? And that's what we want to do too, is, in these donation gardens, we're setting them up. So, this year we're gonna put up an irrigation system. So we're gonna make it even, show citizens how much easier it is to maintain a garden. Cause one of the biggest costs is watering the garden, and it's also very time consuming is watering the garden. Well, once we have this drip irrigation system set up, then we can show them, how to do it, as well as, what the potential cost could be. Long story, yes, that's where we want to go. Would you suggest that we just advertise a opportunity to come and learn how to do this? Because I think what we could do is I don't see people from Union County going to Cairo and see. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to put together probably a PowerPoint slide, or work with, Sherry here in Union County, and we can probably, she would let us model her garden of what they've done here at Schultz Grounds. Or we could do a PowerPoint and show them break it down how we've done it. But to be honest with you, when we try to offer face-to-face programming, our numbers aren't very well attended. So then the challenge becomes, how do you get that information out? Facebook has been a good avenue for us. Zoom has been surprisingly another good, where we just provided online programming. People are getting accustomed to doing it. Nevertheless, I appreciate your comment, and it was noted, and I will take it back to my staff. If you don't see something in 3 months, call the office and say, hey, where's that program at?
Well, I'm just trying to help you.
Yeah, absolutely, and I would invite all of you, because that's one of my comments is, what do you see is needed in the community? What education services? Because we are the face-to-face Google, what I call us.
One of the things I kind of thought about is, you have Earth Day already, and you could pick a grade in school, any grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, and everybody in each class, in each school, the little kids that particular day would get a tomato plant, take home and plant.
Yeah, and well, right, what we're doing right now is we've got 13 teachers that's doing embryology, so we're doing the chicks in the classroom, so they're seeing the whole egg development, through that process. We do have what's called container gardening, so some of my nutrition staff, they do actual, I don't know if they do vegetables, but they do plants. Yes, yeah, so we do have some of that activity going on. 4-H does a lot of in-school programming. More than I can even say. I mean, there's lots of examples you can see in the report. But once again, suggestions like that, I love to hear.
Yeah, it's just something about a tomato plant that amazes me. I just got to planting mine by seed the other day, and but plants are expensive right now. They're very expensive. They can be $7, $8 a piece.
Well, and we've been fortunate because of relationships we've had with different of the big wholesalers. Usually in the fall, when they're going to throw away seeds, we'll get a phone call. They can't give them to us, but they'll tell us where the dumpster is that they're going to throw them away, and we'll
Go get them.
Yeah. So we've obtained a lot of seeds that way. We've separated them and we've given them out to our volunteers. We've given them to schools, kids, and such.
Yeah, and I think the quicker you get to the younger generation, the better.
Well, whenever you go in and you talk to kids and you ask them where food comes from, and Johnny says Walmart,
Yeah, right.
We got a long way to go.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, so, no, I hear you, and it's very, very true. Because, and that's what I remind my staff. I'm very fortunate. I've got a very mature staff. Most of them, probably half of them have been with me for 15 years. They know their jobs, still passionate about their jobs, but they sometimes forget that we have a new audience all the time, because the first and second graders, there's a new batch every year. And so, we have to remind them to keep that energy up, because, they haven't heard your message, and you've got to just continue to show that passion and get through to them. And they do a great job. even with the Zoom, them having to do Zoom programs like they did. I had teachers contacting me, letting me know that they appreciated that.
What's strange is 100 years ago or 150 years ago, we really didn't have that much of a food insecurity problem because everybody raised their own food.
Absolutely. That's
Everybody,
exactly-
and they can their own food. And like you said, now the society has become dependent on Walmart.
Right.
And if that chain is ever broken, we're in deep.
Well, and I honestly do. I believe that in the next 5 to 10 years that we can see that pendulum swinging back.
Yeah.
Which is why my heartbeat is with yours, that we need to teach this generation how to do container gardening at least do that.
I commend you and your.
So, well, you know, I'm only as good as the staff I hire, and I put my staff up against anybody. I mean, somebody who's known in the room. Bobby, you've been around, you've seen them, for a long time. And yeah, I put them against anybody. I mean, they're not there for a paycheck, they're there for passion. So, but my request, with all of that, we've had a $40,000 referendum for forever. And, I've come to you today to ask for an increase. I think I'm asking for $2,500. And I understand you can't do it this year. And so I told Angie, as your budget cycle, however it fits, so that we can go to 42.5.
And our budget, I mean, we've already budgeted before for this year, so we'll take that into consideration.
Just to do that, you understand, I can stand here and say inflation, cost rise, you understand that, you know that. But what I like to tell my administrators at campus, because we're still getting $300,000 federal dollars, that most units, and we're a 5-county unit, most units across the state aren't getting, and it's because our unit down here, we don't have any taxes. We don't have no tax base to generate the monies that other extension units do. So I like to say that we've proven ourselves with the work that we've done, that they make that investment in us, but they make that investment in us because you guys and your fellow commissioners across the state or across the 5 counties, you all follow through. Everybody follows through with what they're committed to give. And so that's why I'm asking all of the 5 counties for this increase this time. And I haven't asked you an increase in probably close to 10 years.
Yeah, I don't remember it ever being different.
No. So, and my intention, just to let you know, I probably got another 5 years in my window. And so I don't anticipate asking for any more money in my tenure being here. Although I do expect us to get more money because I chase grants and I try to squeeze as much as I can out of Champaign. So.
We appreciate it, Jody. Look forward to your report next year, and we'll, like I said, we'll take your request under consideration when we work on our budget and so forth.
Okay. And if you would, I do need that paper, although it's not a binding agreement. I just need it for my budgeting purposes,
Right.
So.
I've already signed it.
All right. Space light up in some of our programs, so, you know, don't be shy. Check us out at the extension office or get a hold of me. Be glad to help.
For everybody's knowledge, where is your office at?
You know where the Bunny Bread plant, that 4-way stop, going north in that little complex. The State Farm is on Suite A. We're back in Suite G. So we're in the back there, so.
That's good enough.
Yep.
Were you involved in the Shawnee High School issues at all
Shawnee High School.
with the funding shortfall?
Oh, no, not with the funding shortfall. We're working with the high school kids, doing quite a bit of programming. They did Welcome to the Real World this past week over there. But I vaguely am familiar with what you're talking about with the, I know their schools can be challenged, not having a tax base. So is there something you can recommend, Dave?
No, but I mean, from a U of I, you know, and students and everything else, it might be important that your input or
Okay.
letter writing or help that way with the the U of I might hold a little more weight.
Right, right. Yeah, I can look into it, and
Shelley or
talk to them and see. The university president was down this past spring and was impressed with our area, had a good conversation with Dale Fowler and Patrick Windhorst. And, I don't want to disclose a whole lot, but they have a lot of interest in Southern Illinois. They meaning the University of Illinois. And, my director has some ideas for some other initiative funding. Wouldn't help Shawnee School District, but it would help
you
our.
can just make that aware to the University of Illinois and their hierarchy to help in Springfield.
Right. Okay. No, I will. I'll take that forward and see if there's any suggestions. We do have a government affairs person that I can reach to. So. All right. And then even issues like that, yeah, don't hesitate to reach out to. I mean, we have, because I'm sure that's not the only school district that's having issues across the state. And if we can link them up to help, you know. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it, Joey.
See you, Jim.
Again, we don't, we already budgeted for this, so we don't have to vote on it.
Correct.
We'll look at the new budget and start working on that, for his request, so. I don't have anything for executive session where somebody else has something in the. Other business, anything?
I've got a thing or two. I want to find out about the, out there by Paul's. It may or may not have anything to do with the county. It's right next to the road. But they're doing construction work around a little cemetery out there, a middle cemetery. And I didn't know how much more construction work they've got planned out there, because they're getting awful close to the cemetery itself. You know anything about that, Angie?
You talking about the new Paul's location? They're doing a bunch of dirt work right by Paul's. I don't know what they're doing. It's not us. It's probably the city of Anna or the landowner. I don't know what's going on there, but there's a cemetery out there?
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was a cemetery there. You can't
I think
see it from the
There's
road.
actually a sign there. It says 1858.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing.
It's actually a small, scrubby looking place. It's grown up, you know, like so many of them. And, but anyway, they're doing dirt work. My concern is that they're getting fairly close.
That's all in the city.
Is that the city limits? Okay.
Yes, so when you turn on Dog Walk until you get to that first street, I don't know that name of that street, but it's like a street, has a subdivision. That is all city of Anna. After that subdivision is the county.
Yeah.
So
My
this is
concern is that they're getting just a little close, you know, that had a thing about it. It's some people. But anyway, and the other thing was I wanted to tell the board and the public that we're having it's not really a meeting. It's a very cordial meeting out in the state forest. We're forming a Friends of the State Forest for the community, for everybody to be involved. And we're going to have different projects and things like that. And it's going to be tailored a lot like the Friends of Giant City. And we're going to have different things out there picking up sticks, because I know that the state funding is pretty tight for recreational areas like that right now. And so we're forming a group to assist them in different things out there, like painting and things like that, and trying to bring in tourism for the county. You know, and you know, it's really a jewel out there. It's really a nice place, and they have a fire tower. I think it's only one of 2 fire towers left in the whole state of Illinois. And so the State Forest Center has a lot of things to offer, a lot of history. And so this will be a citizens group. And promote the environment and local tourism. And anyway, we're gonna have that meeting down there, the first one, and the site superintendent's supposed to be there, April 30th at 9 a.m. at the Lawrence Shelter for anybody that wants to come. They're more than invited. And so I think it'll be interesting, kind of fun. We're gonna have different things going on, so. Anyway, that's all. You're welcome.
Anything else? The motion to adjourn.
Who was that?
Second.
Commissioner Harvey,
Yes.
Commissioner Fix,
Yes.
Chairman Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole.
Yes.